So I got a couple of slashers that you've probably never even seen that are from Japan. Yeah, Japan. And they're micro budget meta slashers. So pretty unique. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free and an unboxing of two movies that Wild Eye Releasing is putting out September 10th for your viewing pleasure. Two movies that are kind of like a micro-budget Japanese slasher with a meta story that's all over the place. Bloody good fun. But they're called Ikenie Man and Harawata Man. Both of these are made by the same director, Yu Nakamoto. They were put out in 2019 and are now just getting distribution here in the United States thanks to Wild Eye Releasing. Now, to keep in mind about these movies, these are not an hour and a half long films. This first one is 52 minutes, 46 minutes, and they're both only on DVD, but I think the quality looked perfectly fine, and I don't think it really needed a Blu-ray. So I'm gonna do my review of both of these first, and then we'll get into the unboxing and everything that's in the ingredients and the extras and all that other stuff afterwards. So let's get into it. So first up, we got Ikenie Man or Ikenie Man. They say it differently, and I'm not sure how to say the name properly. But this is a story about a group of friends that go out to make a film in the woods to celebrate their summer, a slasher horror movie, just with a few people. One of the friends in them bump heads, and it causes a big scene. They disappear because they want to just get the hell out of there, and they bump into another group of people who are unsuspecting and unknowing of this movie that's being made in the woods right then. The director gets the bright idea, maybe he can get these people to surprise them into a surprise filmmaking by going in and pretending like he's a killer and surprise them. But there is a big twist in this movie that causes things to go really far sideways and everybody to die. I think it's pretty ingenious. Now, it is a slasher after all. It can't go too deep, but I like some of the meta-ness that they have in here. The humor is, it's not the best, but it's pretty good for what it is. 10 different characters. A lot of people meet their bloody end. It's not exactly the most practical effects driven film, but they do get away with quite a bit in here, and there is a copious amount of blood and a little bit of gore in here, but nothing to go over the top about. Now, in its sequel, or so I think it is, because they reference that first movie with this character here who I think is the Ikenie Man, who wears a mask kind of like Jason did in the second Friday the 13th, but he's a completely different character. And it is not as serious, obviously, as those movies. But I would say this one I enjoyed, but not as much as I like the next one. I would give this one about a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10 on a micro scale budget film. My enjoyment level was over average, and if you like micro budget films, you'll see what I mean, the quality in here and what they did with it on so little. Now, for the sequel, I kind of like this one a little bit better, and this one's called Harawata Man, which has a guy, if you can kind of see here on the back, with a gas mask and a hammer that goes to town. They call him the Guts Man or the Intestines Man, and he goes around killing. Now, this movie has got a similar premise as the other one. It's another film crew, except this time they're at a warehouse. They run into some serious problems. Everyone starts dying around them. There's another group that's also filming another type of film there, and it really clashes what's going on here. And then there's this big chaos that erupts between the two. I felt like this one had the stronger acting, the better pace than the last one, but they're both pretty fun, and this one only edges out this one by like a 0.5. Like, I like this one. It just flowed a little bit better. It was a little bit easier to understand, and some of the characters are a little bit more different than the others. This one's a little bit more exciting and engaging as well. So yeah, both of these are fun. I would give this one probably a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. If you are used to watching like shot on video movies that actually have like real establishing shots and like, you know, things like that to make it feel like a movie, it's just done on budget cameras and not the best acting. There is blood, there is a little bit of gore, but nothing really all that great. But they did a pretty decent job with it, so I have to give it some credit, and I thought it was above average for what I was expecting. I was expecting a lot worse than this, but I was also kind of hoping to be a little bit more funnier. And if you just kind of turn off your like thoughts about like what needs to be real or not, then you kind of know what to expect from these films. They're fully aware of themselves. They're not trying to be anything more. They're not trying to be an art house film. They're just getting out there and doing it and having a good time. And I ended up liking it after all. So I would love to hear what you guys think about these films. Are you into micro budget films? And if you haven't checked them out, would you be into a micro budget slasher film that gets super meta? Both of these get the meta on pretty heavy, and I think it might be worth checking out. They're coming out on the 10th of September from Wild Eye Releasing, and I'll go over all the ingredients and everything that's inside now. Let me know what you think about these movies in the comments section down below. All the timestamps are always down there, so if you ever need to jump around, you can. But let's get into the extras. First up, we have Ikenie Man, which has a poster art work by Kit Nishino, who kind of redid it, and it, you know, has a little bit of a different thing on the back. There's the side and everything, but I honestly kind of prefer the original artwork, which is inside. If you see, you got the disc in here, which has the new artwork, and then you got the other side. I don't know, it just looks cooler. I don't know, I like it. It looks like something I would pick off the shelf a little bit more. Yeah, it's just a little more distinct. Some of the extras in this, you get trailers, the original poster artwork, and the new one. So that's pretty much everything that's included in this. This is, again, from Yu Nakamoto, who did the Phone of the Dead movie. And so is this one, of course, which is the Harawata Man, which this one has its own kind of cover here. You can see it is pretty cool. I like what they did on both of them. Here's the side, back. Then we got the disc on the inside, which is the same thing as the new cover. And then the other one, which is a little bit more on the Japanese side, because it doesn't really have that much language that is in English on the front here, but I do kind of like it. You know, it says Harawata Man at the very bottom, but I just kind of like the original covers on these. I think they look pretty fantastic for both of these. And the Harawata Man comes with the trailers and then the new poster, and that's it for both of these releases. So not super feature rich, but if you like collecting like small budget indie films from other countries especially, these might be something that you might want to check out. I try to mix it up for you guys as much as possible so that we're watching all kinds of stuff, even in action films and in some Asian cinema, which I'm really into and I'm always open to checking out. Hong Kong films, horror, obviously, and anything Lovecraft. And I got some stuff ready for Voidtober in October that I might do some Lovecraft stuff with. So we might make it a Lovecraft holiday here. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, thank you so much, MVD Entertainment and Wild Eye Releasing, for sending me out some goodies. I hope you enjoyed that, because my whole thing is about digging through piles and piles of movies to find what's best. And I hope that's an aspect of my channel that you guys love too and join with me on. So take a risk. Sometimes it's really fun and you get to see some things you would never see before. Thank you guys so much for coming by and watching this content. Please hit the like and subscribe button and the little bell notification so you know when I got a new video up, because we got some big stuff coming, and I mean a huge haul that's gonna blow your freaking mind. So stay tuned. Thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.